Good morning and welcome to Mission Alive. I'm Greg McCann, and this is the sixth part of the story that we're talking about China and the MSC involvement in China. We've talked about the Essendon fathers at Shenzhen, how they got there in the mountainous area, and how Shenzhen is just a very, very small little place covered by big mountains. We talked about the bandits. We talked about the trip from Shanghai up the Yangtze River and then walking 80 kilometres to Shenzhen. We talked about the Paris Missionary Society. We talked about the priests and some of the problems that they had just getting there, and how the bandits even killed the submission superior and wounded another one. How the information comes from Brother Delaney's article in the Province newsletter of the MSCs. We talked about the Long March. We talked about the death of Father Kellner. And we finished with the Long March and the relatively peace that came after the Long March. And they're the great men of the day, the great men of the day. The late 30s were a comparatively peaceful time, and the arrival of the missionary sisters in around about 1934, much was being achieved at that time. Schools, dispensaries, and an orphanage, that's important. The orphanage soon appeared. The number of Christians registered in the area rose from 2,780 to 3,300, and three towns, Dejiang, Tongren, Wuchan, were able to build their own churches. Now these 5 children here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 children were the first orphans that the nuns got. Sister Solina, Sister Loyola, Sister Fozia and Sister Cornelia arrived. They must have been extraordinary women. And we can be so proud of the fact that they were a part of our society, a part of our group. At the back, of course, is Father Klesner and Father Mertens. So anyway, things were going pretty well by that time. Tongren Church. I took that photograph. There's the church up there, but I couldn't get into it because I was being watched by the security bureau when I took that photo, so I had to be careful. This is the church in Dejiang. Quite a nice church. And this is the main altar of the church in Shenzhen in the 30s. You'll notice there the painting of Christ the King. And that's pretty significant. I'll tell you about that later on, but that's the old altar that they had in the church at Shenzhen. And there's the mob. It was a mission status was raised in 1938 to what they call a prefecture apostolic, and Monsignor Buchholz, there he is there, MSC, was made the apostolic prefect. Now at that time, in 1938, there were 15 MSC priests, 3 MSC brothers, 8 MSC sisters, 4,311 Catholics, and 31 minor and major outstations. It was a great time. And you can see that they must have had an incredible influence on the people of the area. Just a small place like Shenzhen. So much was happening. These were the heady days of success, the pinnacle of achievement for the mission. During World War II, Japan did not invade Guizhou province, and, except for the communists, the missionaries were virtually left alone. On one occasion, in 1941, 6 missionaries were abducted and jailed as criminals by the communists, but eventually sent to Shechien on the condition that they didn't have anything to do with the Miao or the ethnic minority people. There's lots of ethnic minority people in China, 52 of them, I believe. Anyway, obviously the missionaries were very interested in helping these minorities, the ethnic minorities. 3 months later, the missionaries came back to Shechien and started over again. One of the things that I noticed about this photograph, I think it was taken from an outstation, was the size of Father Baumeister. He's very, very big man. In Chinese would have been incredibly impressed by his stature. Look at him, he's such beautiful upright stature. They would have been really impressed by him, I'm sure. Also, China can be a very hot place, very hot. And I can't believe they would get around with all these black clothes on, and the nuns with all their soutanes on and their veils and that. I don't know how they did it. I really don't know how they did it. Anyway, they did. And to their credit, we can be so proud of these people. Well, we had another period of calm. A confused peace descended on the mission before and after World War II. Roads and railway made travel to Guiyang, the capital, much safer, with little worry about bandits or raids. It was definitely a period of calm.